to another episode of Teach Jenn Tech Learning with Laura. Is that like Learning with Laura, Teach Jenn Tech? I'm,
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to our
Yeah. Hey.
Monday. Monday is a weekly we could call it a mini series. Because
there was a book years ago called Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh.
We could. Oh yeah. So backstory for y'all tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Jen and I were just talking off air about how this series has sort of. Well, first of all, it wasn't going to be a series the first day that we did this, right? It was going to be an episode, and then it was like, oh, well, we could just keep going with this, and then actually, we could do it every week instead of every other week, and so it just keeps embiggening. And we don't only talk about Python, right? Like we talk about learning theory, and we talk about we've done some Git stuff, and we've done some command line stuff, and we've done just some like background CS kind of topics and neurodiversity type topics and all kinds of stuff, right? And so we were talking about how like it's not strictly Python that we're talking about, and trying to figure out like how does naming work with all this?
Like Python's like the overall like how we came together, and
like a common thread.
Yeah, it's the common thread. It's like the like it has to do with everything, but we're not always talking about Python. And I personally like Learning with Laura because we do talk about ways to learn as well, because that is something I really struggled with, and also a big reason that I for today's topic, I changed the topic. And it's yes. And hi, homie, what up? I agree. This is like, I just enjoyed Mondays because I'm not dreading the stream. Like, it's not like I ever dread them, but I'm like, it's comfortable.
Yep.
And I'm like, I know I'll push myself to learn, but it's also like, it feels more like you're a co-host instead of just a guest. So that's kind of where I land on this in my mind.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
So for everyone hanging out with us today, we're gonna get to Anki, because last week I promised, I did say I would do it. I totally didn't do it. I would set up my Anki account and get and Anki is like flashcards to learn how to do things. This is a lot of where we talk about learning theory and how to learn. And these are habits and structures that I never set up in my life. I never knew. And I think this does have a lot to do with like neurodiversities and learning. I'm learning how to learn for myself. And Laura is like a master at this. So that's why again, like learning with Laura. But then I also worked on like last week, Tuesday, I got a stomach bug. Then Wednesday, I fell. I fell off of a chair. It's totally my own fault. It was very great. I laugh because people that have known me for years know that this is just what happens in my life. Like I am so clumsy, where I didn't realize that when I posted on Twitter about it, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Jen, are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah. This is just hilarious. Like, this is just my luck. This is what happens. So I'm fine. I'm just hanging around at, with a boot on. And then I really wanted to get this project made. I'm calling it Tweety Tag. And it's where I am working on getting it set up to, on Wednesdays, I host a neurodiversity in tech Twitter space. And again, the cool thing about like learning live and doing things online is when people want to be a part of it, you kind of just like get to move with it. You kind of, you evolve. It evolves. You pivot, you evolve. And so I didn't realize that everyone I said like at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, DM me if you want me to tag you in the reminders so you show up on Wednesdays. And well, I had no idea what the undertaking would be if we fast forward like 3 months afterwards. So I'm going to work on explaining it to Laura and seeing and showing her where I'm stuck just in general. I think it'd be kind of cool to explain. And then we're going to get into Anki because,
Mhm.
yeah, am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Sweet. Sweet. And I hope everyone is having a lovely Monday and start of your
Mhm.
week, what time it is in the world, because I feel like Mondays are just like known to be dreaded. And I'm like, dude, I actually really like Mondays. But I think a lot of that has to do with Laura.
Oh,
True.
you guys are killing me. I'm gonna actually like cry on screen sometime. It's gonna be real.
I mean, it might happen. It might happen, but that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's welcome to be real. And what up? Uh is it Grat Can? Kane? Grat Kane. Grat Kane. I think that's how you say it. Hello. Happy that you're here. And we are going to uh do this. I'm gonna open the project. And Laura, I started using my VS Code more to update to GitHub. But
Oh
I
yeah.
created my repo and are updating it
Mm.
as we go. So
Nice.
there is progress, but it is CD desktop code tweet tag. And then code space. Oh, stupid VS Code. That part's not working again, but I don't even know why it stopped working. That's okay.
I do.
Why?
Actually, this is how we met, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
This is a zhish thing. And we can fix it.
Mm, okay. Okay. Maybe let me show you all of this and
Yes.
then Enki and then fix it. Because I feel like if we throw that in, I'm like, wait, I'm normally very adaptable, but for some reason that's just like screwing up my head right now.
Understand?
And that is the cool thing with, and y'all, just something I really do want to call out is learning about yourself is a huge learning process, but being very open with it. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, a lot of times Laura and I just get on this call and I'm like, hey, what do you think about doing this today? And we are both, I would say, very, very adaptable, yet sometimes there is such a thing as like over adaptability or like going too far where that's why I say, okay, hold on. I'm going to lose train of thought if I add in that as well. So I
Yep.
say all that just to y'all, you're not alone. This is all
Right.
the weird things we do.
And we are both on the ADHD train.
Yes.
So
That
yep.
is a good call out. Good
The
call out.
rabbit holes have rabbit holes around here.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, and I'm going to do this because homie's here and it reminds me of always making sure that I pull the current one
Hmm.
because that caused a mess last time too, or throughout
Mm.
experience. Um, all right. I'm going to show you my Miro board version first
Ooh.
because so what I manually do eh, every week
Hmm.
is I post the Twitter space. I put the same thread tweet here. It says the same thing. And then I go through and tag everyone that wants to be tagged. And I forget people. I lose people. I also am like, dude, I forget to look at my DMs half the time. So my bad. Like, so my goal is if somebody enters their Twitter handle and I enter this Twitter space information, I want it to combine it and then auto post all of this for me,
Hmm.
which in theory I thought would be really cool. It's a lot more complicated than I imagined.
Hmm.
which is cool because so far we have Prisma, which I'm going to look this up because I didn't know what Prisma was before this. And
Mhm.
it makes it so I found out that I needed a back end and a front end tool to be able to make this happen. Front end to be able to like gain the content, make it look pretty, and then a back
Mhm.
end to be able to put it into the database and then eventually connect to the Twitter API. Eventually. So there might
Mhm.
be more in there, but I'm still learning. So what we did, or what I did, is it created this Prisma uh, like database client to be able to read a database. And I created this database with Ivan, which does manage databases. So my
Mhm.
end goal after all of this is done is to see how that works on Ivan because it's supposed to make it that you can just switch your like your databases without causing like a conniption for the
Okay.
front end people.
Okay.
So I'm
Mhm.
gonna get there. And then hopefully the Twitter API, I can get that to work. I was thinking I would do the like test the auto post and then do the front end. And I realized that's not how my brain works. So that happened. And then one part that I got really stuck on is I've worked in databases, but I've never uh, built a database.
Okay.
And building the models and things. And that was really, thank you, homie, for coming on the stream for a little bit to help me through this because it was like easy for me to like start writing this out, but actually
Mhm.
creating the models. So I'm now going to go to my project. So if I look here, I'm going to do this. At first, when I created the Prisma, it created our uh, scheme Prisma, which put in like our data source so that connect to the database in the .ev file, and then we created our models for our database.
Okay.
Dope, got it, got
Mhm.
that far, and then I was like, oh, what do I do now? And I need to have a. We queried this; it was working great. Then I needed to make a front end because I was like, how am I going to test if people can actually put something in there? I didn't
Mhm.
know yet. So I was like, I'll make a front end. And you did, homie. You did. Uh, and then if we go into pages and index, um, it will ask for your Twitter handle. So let me do cd node. Oh no, wait. Node models? No, just kidding. Is it LSCD to go back one? No.
No. Okay. So this is, remember last week we were talking about the dots
Oh
and how
yeah.
like the dot always means the same thing?
Uh-huh.
So dot means this directory that we're in right now. Dot dot is the directory that we are nested within. One directory up from
Oh.
where we are.
Okay, like that's
Yes.
look at
Right?
the dot dot.
And it always means that. Dot always means where we
Okay.
are, and dot dot always means one directory up from us.
So if I do dot dot, will it take me to the directory above
CD, so
dot?
change directory space dot dot means we go up one directory.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. That was really exciting, y'all. I don't know. Okay, come back. Thank you. And then I need to do CD next forms app. And then it is npm run dev. Yay. I don't
Okay.
know why I had to like look that up so many times yesterday, but I could not remember it. But I've been also over since Thursday about this project by itself. I've streamed, I think, like 15 hours.
Mhm.
So I've been very stuck. Look, it made the thing, and it was very
Look!
exciting. But if I do my name and I hit submit, I even got this to work. Is this your Twitter handle? Yes.
Mm.
Yay! It's beautiful. And
Mhm.
I can open a new one, and we're in Tweety Tag. Perfect. And then I need to do Node. I need to look up what the other one is. I put it in my notes. Node index.js. So if I do node index.js, delete all your things. It gives me a bunch of error messages. Yes, I need forms, I need index, and why am I in my get ignore? I don't know. And then I need this index. And then go like this. Okay. So to query the database, if I'm in index.js, if I query Twitter handle and
Mhm.
I do my name, oh, I think it was like this. Not two, whatever. I can misspell my name. It doesn't really matter. And I save it
Mhm.
and I query it. Look, it pulls it,
Okay.
but I can't get my next form app to go into the database. I don't know how to get the front end to talk to the back end. And this is where I'm stuck. But I just wanted to show you because I feel like
Mhm.
I felt so cool doing all of this. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm really excited and feel like I'm a real coder. Like I'm a developer and this is crazy.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, yeah, this is super cool. I'm like I'm trying to figure out what might be wrong. So I am not a web dev, right?
yeah,
So
that's
like
okay.
I
You don't even need
definitely don't know off the top of my head.
yeah, and there's like TypeScript and JavaScript and um
Yeah.
an API. It's a hot mess, but it's getting there. It is getting there,
Mhm.
but I was just really excited to show you that I actually a lot of it was starting to make sense based on things that we've been talking about. As
Mhm.
in and y'all I'm going to yes, we are talking different languages. So first off, I want to say that Laura and I have mainly been talking about Python.
Mhm.
And everything I'm building is mostly with databases and JavaScript and TypeScript. This is just the way my brain works is I like to why do I not have okay, sorry. Um what's the book we've been learning?
Automate the
Automate
boring stuff.
automatetheworryandstuff.com. And for some reason I did not I bookmarked it. I don't know where I bookmarked it. So as we're going through automate the boring stuff, it's teaching about like the way we like the way coding works in general. Like
Mhm.
it's not just Python stuff. And this is the really cool thing is working with Laura is been learning how like these different statements work together, how this all works because as we've been like testing it out or she lets me go off on like a total tangent and like oh let me go to like skip far ahead, it's also taught me how to use VS Code better and being able to understand like what a property is or being able to go in this is a function. Python will use very similar things. Like if you were to ask me right now, I'm going to totally space which does what, but it's similar enough that the concepts are starting to sink in that are making learning both oddly really a lot easier than if I feel like if I was stuck on one. Because if
Mhm.
I get stuck on one, then I could go figure out more on the other.
Yeah,
So it might be
totally.
the ADHD in me.
Yeah. It's I mean, that's sort of it's I think of it as an advantage,
Ah, that is
right?
true. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, we can
And
call this out. It's time for dancing because it's
Ooh.
progress. So
Mhm.
I'm putting it on there. Indians. Indians. Okay. Just had to get that out. We got the dance done.
Yay.
Um, yes. So I just want to say that y'all helped me and I learned a lot so far. And
Yeah. Yeah, because all programming languages have a lot of the basic concepts in common,
mhm,
just like human languages have a lot of basic concepts in common. There are going to be
mhm,
verbs, there are going to be nouns and pronouns, and how do you express these kinds of ideas, and like the idea is the same and the like syntax is different.
mhm,
And programming languages are exactly the same way. So they're all going to have like for loops and while loops and booleans and all
mhm.
of these, and data types, and how do they handle data types and print statements and all of that kind of stuff. And
Exactly.
VS Code is going to say like, oh, okay, you can hover over your function name. They're all going to have functions. So you can hover over your function name and see the declaration of this function. So you can see what the function expects you to give it and what it's going to give back to you should everything
Mhm.
go correctly. Yep. All
Yes.
that stuff stays the same.
And that's just like something that I wish more people realized because how to say it? Um, I think people get really stuck on the scariness of learning another language
Hmm.
because
Sure.
it's like and I really feel it now where it's like once you start learning your first your second language, it makes it easier for all the future languages
Exactly.
because you see the concepts are the same, you just need to change the syntax.
And sometimes it helps you understand your first language better.
Yes, and that's happened a lot too. So, yeah, that is definitely something that has taught me a lot, and I that is a big reason I really just wanna show you all of it because 'cause I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Look, I actually like" even though this is all Python that you and I talk about, it really helped all of this,
yeah.
and
Yay. Totally.
doubly why I was like, can we, like, do the what is it called? And key?
Mhm.
If we can do the and key stuff
Mhm.
because I got stuck on it, and I think it's also like I've never seen it hmm, like it's worked and I get it, but I don't get it. It's like this
Mhm.
weird until you start to do it, you might not realize that you don't get it.
Sure.
So, on that note, let me reshare my screen. Do, 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 do. Oh, wait, add stream. There we go. I can use StreamYard. It'll work. I got it. Okay, and Yankee. And we downloaded it. Oh, I downloaded it, so I just need to go look for it. Yankee. Can we make you smaller? Thanks. Oh, yes. We will. Oh, you have to re-download it? Oh. Yeah, we'll go with the same one.
So
Uh,
this is because um it's not, you're not downloading it from like the Microsoft App Store. So I mean, sometimes it can update itself and sometimes you have to download a new version.
mhm.
But yeah, and I don't think that you can get it from the App Store, but I don't remember. I don't know if I've tried. I probably have not tried. Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Ben. That's
Ben's the
awfully
coolest.
sweet.
All right. So, are you saying that I need to do it right now then?
No,
Okay, cool.
just that you can.
All right. So, if I remember correctly, decks are like if I want to do one on Python and then I want to do one on Twitter, like decks can be about totally different subjects.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe somebody would want to do it about Twitter. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Twitter was a learning curve for me
It is a
when I
learning curve.
joined.
I love Twitter. I'm
Me too. And I will actually cry. if we have to go because of fucking Musk,
Oh, yeah.
right? I'm on Mastodon and like that's fine. But Twitter is like for all that people refer to it as like a hell site, and I totally understand why it is that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, it is my like safe, happy place.
Agreed. Agreed. And I love Twitter. It's tech Twitter has been like such a good space that I've really grown into. It sounds weird, but like because of Twitter, and I'm going to go back to us because this is a random shit we talk about. And thank you everybody
Mhm.
for going on this ride with us. Um,
We need like a special musical like sound for like here we are, we're just gonna wax poetic about Twitter for a minute.
yeah, I mean, we can do, let's see, I can do, we do have a little bit of music. Let's see. There we go. Just gonna turn it down. So this is our ode to Twitter.
Mhm.
Um, so like tech Twitter itself, I didn't realize it was a thing. But it's been like so amazing having people that I never would have been able to talk to. Like you and I would not be connected if it wasn't for Twitter because I met Ramon on Twitter.
Mhm.
And
I wouldn't have my
Ramon
job,
is, yeah, Ramon is one of
so
my,
I wouldn't even know Twitter Ramon either.
like, it's such a good space. Yes, there are some really big dum-dums there, and
Mm.
it's really fun to block people, and Twitter Spaces have helped so much with my own learning experience, but also, like, finding, like, this community of people, of like-minded people that I don't know if I would have found because a lot of developers aren't on LinkedIn. They kinda, like, hang out on
Mhm.
Reddit, maybe Stack Overflow, but like not everyone is. But there's a lot more developers and tech community on Twitter than any other platform.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. I always tell people who are talking about like getting into how to get a tech job and so on that like hot take, Twitter is way more valuable than LinkedIn. And they're always astonished. They're like, "No way." Like,
Actually,
yes.
yeah, like I posted about that I'm looking for a DevRel job, and a lot of the places I'm interviewing are because of that post.
Mhm. Yep.
100%. And I
Yep.
think that uh I can't do this at the same time. Somebody else is looking at my project and they're like, well, what's wrong with it? It's fine. And I'm like, I can't get the front end and the back end to connect. It's not fine. Anyway, sorry. Can't. It's
Yeah.
um just a random other thing on Mac. If you put like do not disturb and stuff, it doesn't do it for Discord, which I wish it did.
It
Because
does
then
for
I get
me.
really I still get notifications. I'm just
You
gonna
can change it. In the focus settings, you can say which apps it needs to apply to.
oh, that totally makes more sense because I'm like, Discord will hardcore distract me. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
What? Okay. No, do not allow notifications. Oh, this is splendid. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
at least um think I got that figured out. I don't know. It's fine. All right.
Yep.
Back to, oh, we have so many more fun people that I didn't even see. And Hack with Coding. What up? Do you want to? Didn't we talk about this yesterday? Do you want to come like hang out with us on Twitch? Because you're the only one on YouTube. Can you get Twitch where you're at? That's the other thing I always forget is I don't know where. Oh, you're watching from Kenya, so I don't know if Kenya. Anybody know? I think Kenya can do Twitch.
I haven't heard that Twitch is blocked
I don't know.
in Kenya. I
All
don't know.
right. Well, I got that posted. I posted to your channel too.
Ah, thank you.
um, but and then we got your Twitter's not B1 Mind is LinkedIn is sad. Your Twitter's not much better. Why is your Twitter not much better? What? what Twitter, like, do you need more Twitter peoples? Like,
You know, I was on the topic of like people who are trying to get into tech. I actually have one of my draft blog post drafts is like how to use Twitter to get like embedded in the tech industry and use it to find a job. And now I'm wondering whether it's going to be moot now because maybe Twitter is we're all like we're going to have an exodus from Twitter, which is super sad. But yeah, it's a total thing figuring out how to get connected to people on Twitter.
on that note, like, do you let's talk about a little bit, and this is my for my own understanding too. So basically, the the rocket guy wanted to buy Twitter, and Twitter was like, nah, bruh. And so he's like, well, let me go do my own thing and create a new thing that's just going to take away from Twitter.
Not really.
See, this is
He
why I
wanted to
asked.
buy Twitter itself and said like he made an offer. It was like 44 billion or something. This is like in April, and it was agreed that he was going to buy it.
Oh,
However, lots of people speculated that he had no actual intention of buying Twitter at the time. He just wanted to like throw his weight around. And so then he started talking about how there were too many bots on Twitter, that like too many, like if Twitter's value is in the number of accounts, and this is a massive oversimplification, but if like Twitter's value is in the number of accounts, and this percentage of accounts is actually bots, not real people, then like it's overvalued by that percent, say. And so he came up with like a much larger percentage of bot accounts than was real. And then he said, yeah, so never mind. I don't want to buy Twitter because Twitter sucks.
hmm
It's all bots.
hmm
And then Twitter was like, no, you can't do that because you just made up that it's all bots. And so we're going to sue you and say you have to buy us because you like entered into an agreement to buy us, and the like premise upon which you left was false. So you still have to buy us. And he was trying to not do it and trying to not do it, but he wasn't going to succeed. And so he got other people with more money than sense to help him do this. And now it appears that it's going to go through unless the government says, hey, actually, you are too cozy with Russia. And this is too big of a thing to like hand over to somebody who's cozy with Russia. So it's like against public interest for you to buy Twitter, like as a
Dang.
security problem,
Well,
which is goofy when you think about it. Like, but also it makes sense because modern life, right? So yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, we could like I almost feel like random shit and taught and learning with Laura Mondays, like random stuff. But bringing us back a little bit too, because I think this is I don't want to skip over this one is for Dottis for Fordotis. I get really stuck on trying to figure out people's names. Note that in Stack Overflow, there are people with so much knowledge, and most probably the people on Twitter are searching on Stack Overflow first. Yeah, I think if people know how to search things,
I mean, it depends. Like, I think we were more talking about finding humans as
yeah,
opposed to answering specific questions. So, like, certainly if I have a question like,
yeah.
how do I do this Git thing? Or how do I, whatever, I search for it, not necessarily on Stack Overflow itself, but I'll search for it in, search engine. And then very often the website that I end up finding the answer on is Stack Overflow for sure.
Interesting, because like granted, I've only started doing like this new project that's been very, very technical, that I actually
Mhm.
created something on Stack Overflow and nobody replied. And I was like, I need this answer. So I
Yeah.
just started hitting up all my communities and Twitter and being like, someone come help me.
I have
Uh,
never asked a question on Stack Overflow.
oh, see, that kind of like deterred me from Stack Overflow because I couldn't find the answer and nobody's replied to me yet.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's forums in general. That's like if you
Yeah.
ask a question in a Facebook group, like not everybody's going to see it.
Right.
So I do find that very interesting.
Mhm.
But yes, I agree with both. I feel like Twitter, you can have more of a community, but that could just be
Mhm.
I can't get Stack Overflow and I to be friends. On
I
that
mean, it's
note,
not really what Stack Overflow is for.
that's true. It's more of
It's
like a
for
knowledge base. Yeah.
answering very specific questions as
Mhm.
opposed to like forming those human connections. I'm sure that
Mhm.
human connections have been formed on Stack Overflow, but
Yeah.
that's not its like purpose. That's not its reason for living. Whereas that totally is the reason for living for Twitter.
And news.
Mm,
Half the time I find out something because Twitter decided to notify me and I'm like, oh, hello.
right?
Hello. And also, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Ryan, I saw that you're here too. So hello.
Oh,
I
hey,
didn't say
Ryan.
hello. Hello yet? Hello. Wow, I can't talk.
Hmm.
This is part of Monday. All right. So
I just have to say one more thing in praise of
yes,
Twitter,
yes,
which
do it.
is that watching the pandemic unfold from the perspective of somebody who was active on Twitter in the tech community at the time was wild
Hmm.
because everything that was coming out through the news was like 3 or 4 weeks behind what was already
Oh,
known
okay.
in a lot of like if you follow Dr. Eric Feigl Deng on Twitter. Like he tweeted on like February 5th his like classic Holy Mother of God tweet where it was
Mhm.
about what was going on with COVID in China. And that was like right before it started getting, everywhere else. And so, and I wasn't following him yet then, but people that I knew were, or not knew, but like Twitter knew.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about it with my parents, and my parents, were in their 70s at the time. And most of the people who were dying at the time were old people. And I remember
Mhm.
telling my parents on like March 11th that like we are trying to adapt our lifestyles in order to save your asses.
Yeah.
And you are just like going about, you're going to Target and you're doing the whatever. And we're like, because Twitter knew about this everything weeks and weeks before
Hmm.
the CDC was saying anything.
Yeah.
And it was really, really weird. And then it's like ended up being that way still now, where like, according to the CDC itself, like the pandemic is over. There's no problem here. Nothing to see. Move on. you know?
And I do find that really interesting. I think also, so I didn't join Twitter until June. Like I
Okay.
had a Twitter account,
Hmm.
but I didn't start posting until June. And it's just wild, like the content and people you can learn from and
Hmm.
conversations you can just have. I
Right.
don't know. It's like my favorite part. And
Yep.
I do feel like this ended up all about Twitter. But we are gonna stop. No more
Yeah.
acoustic music. Music. I can't talk. It's cool. Fine. It's fine. All right. So we're gonna talk about Anki.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna leave this up over here just in case we need Anki for some like any documentation or anything.
I'm
Um
about to break the rule that you just set out like right away and say, I'm pretty sure that I discovered Enki on Twitter.
what? Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Dude, that like took me a minute. I was like, what rule? Oh, all right. I mean, that is pretty good. That is pretty good. I think that um uh Ryan, did it were you there last week on who was
Yeah.
it that said that they use Anki? Was it Ryan? Ryan, how did you
Oh, I'm
find
not sure.
Anki? I think it was Ryan. Okay, we're gonna delete this one because I didn't. All right, I have an Anki thing that does
Hmm.
not let me make anything bigger, so please zoom in yourself.
Oh, yeah. I think it's in settings. In like the Anki settings, you can make it
Okay.
bigger. Yeah, preferences, sorry.
I always just hate how it says that. Default. Oh, yes. We're gonna make it giant. I'm also blind, so close. Oh, restart. Okay. Quit. Start. Uh, no. Oh, it's so much bigger. Yay. Is that easier for everybody to read? Do I need to make it even bigger?
It was good for me before. I wouldn't need it to be any bigger, but I have a big screen, so hard to say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. For Dodis got back to us about, of course, Stack Overflow will be the search first on search reflex because Stack Overflow is community based on coding questions and answers. Twitter, on the other hand, is social networking. Also, there is code review, Stack Exchange. They do code reviews? Wait, what is Stack? All the knowledge, all the things.
I mean, it's certainly the case that you see, at least I've seen people post code on Stack Exchange and other people have critiqued it, said like, oh, hey, this is how you can improve this code, or you can make it more efficient, you can make it use less memory or whatever. Maybe there's an official code review on Stack Exchange. If there is, this is the first I've heard.
But does that mean that in Stack Exchange, I could maybe like ask someone and be like, yo, look at my Git project and why can't I get the front end to talk to the back end? Please and thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Whether people answer, I don't like that feels, I guess if I were going to ask a question, like if I have benefited from other people asking questions on Stack Overflow and then getting answers to them.
Yes.
I feel like a faster way for me to get an answer to a specific question is to ask a smaller, more connected community. Okay, and then to immediately contradict myself, then the other place that I would be more likely to ask a question is actually the Free Code Camp forum, which is not a small community, but it is super active.
Okay, that's as big as that one's gonna go. But I feel like these are things that we don't talk about. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
But on Discord service, yeah,
that's the other thing I was going to say is
okay.
like if I had a question that made like we use something called Docusaurus at Suborbital for serving our, well, not serving, but like formatting our docs. And I am part of the Docusaurus Discord, so that if I have Docusaurus questions, I can ask on their Discord. So if you're having a question about Ivan, if Ivan has a Discord community, I would totally be hitting them up directly.
Because I don't know if it's a Prisma or I think it's a Prisma question.
Okay.
But community.
There you go.
Bam. Okay. So if product, wow, y'all, I can't type. Product slash language specific. See if they have a community. Discord. Slack. Forum.
If must, yeah.
To ask. And then you said
Free Code Camp would be the next one. If I had more of a general question, Free Code Camp would absolutely be where I'd be going.
All right.
There was a time, and I know that Stack Overflow has really tried to fix this, but there was a time when Stack Overflow, like asking a question on Stack Overflow was like, yes, you would maybe get an answer, but people would be really horrible to you first.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Meg Rizdal. Uh, and you can find her on Twitter. Sorry to break the rule again. Um, it, took over at, well, not like CEO of Stack Overflow, I don't think, but like she was an uppity up, and that was one of her big foci, was making Stack Overflow be a friendly place where you could ask questions instead of, we'll answer your question, but we'll, like tie you to the whipping post first.
Why can I not make it references? Text size giant because I am blind. I'm not, and honestly, I'm not just doing it for y'all. I'm doing it for myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me catch up on comments really quick to see if y'all put anything else in here. I'm gonna mention Discord servers, and then yes, 100%. Great, Grat Kane about like how some communities are negative. Okay, so Stack Overflow. We'll say keep questions short and may have. I wonder what the turnaround time is.
For getting questions answered on Stack
Yeah,
Overflow?
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, what is Stack Exchange then? What do you like? I'm doing these without the research just because I want to see what the community actually uses it as.
Mm-hmm.
So, you and I talked about like you can not maybe like a proper code review, but a um like just a code efficiency. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. Hmm.
I'm going to throw a link in for Meg's post about Stack Overflow, just because I thought it was really interesting to hear from someone on the inside who was really, really working on that problem.
Sweet. Okay, let me put hers in here. Will you DM that or private chat that to me too? Because that one went on your Twitch channel. Because we do stream to both y'all. As a heads up, we stream to my Twitch channel and Laura's Twitch channel, which y'all should
Mhm.
definitely go follow Laura too. We all need the followers. That way if she's doing something, y'all can still catch it. Um,
Yeah.
create. And hers is go, go, gadget.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna have to throw this in here. So all my usernames on most places is some variation of Go Go Gadget from Inspector Gadget, of course. And I don't know if everyone who does not have children knows that there's a reboot of Inspector Gadget on Netflix. And it's actually really good. They've changed some things, but they've changed some things in some ways that I approve of. And my 5-year-old likes to watch Netflix with the narration on where it like describes what's happening on the screen. And a few days ago, he was watching Inspector Gadget and listening to the narration, and the
Mhm.
narrator literally said, "Meanwhile, brain's just vibing." I was dead. I was like, that is so good. Brain's just vibing.
I
It's
mean,
like
I
that.
feel like that's a real thing. Brain's just vibing. All
Yeah.
right. I dig
Yep.
it. I dig
It
it.
was funny.
Um, okay, I got that one on there. Stack Exchange. Keep questions short. In my opinion, it's not valid cause the logic would be something like ask your error, provide your code, and ask what's working instead. Ah, I dig it. This is why I'm doing it all together. Like this is a group project. I'll put these
Mhm.
notes in the YouTube video. So y'all will have it on the YouTube description.
Mhm.
But
I do have some recommendations for how to ask good questions. So I wouldn't actually say that people who want to learn about like how to ask questions need to read that post from Meg Risdall. It's more just sort of interesting to hear about like thoughts behind Stack Overflow, but not specifically about like how to ask questions. Um, but yeah, so for asking questions, and this applies to asking questions in pretty much any context at all. Um, so this is something that I sort of learned when I was a grad student. If I were emailing a professor to say, like, I have a question about this, I would state what I was having the problem with. Like, okay, I'm working on problem 5 from, homework 2 or whatever. Um, I am this is why I'm confused or like the specific thing that's going wrong, followed by these are all of the things that I have tried to fix my problem. And for each of those, why that didn't work out. Because people are very often inclined to just say, "Oh, hey, I'm having trouble with this thing. Can you help me?" And it's like, "Okay, sure." And then you tell me what the problem is, and then I say, "Okay, well, maybe I can help you, but what have you tried?" "Okay, well, I've tried this. Okay, why didn't that work out?" And there's like just so much back and forth. But if you provide all of that background to the person at the time that you are asking the question so that they don't have to like seek out all the rest of that stuff, then it helps them, like, it makes it less work for someone to help you. Um, and that feels better on the part of someone who's doing the helping. If you have to do a lot of work just to figure out what someone's problem is and how they've tried to solve it and, like, all of that background, that doesn't feel so good because it's like, "Why are you making me work so hard to answer your question?"
fair enough.
Um, yeah, and then, but then the other thing is that more often than not, if I go through the process of, like, starting to type up an email, say, to a professor,
Mhm.
saying, "This is my problem, and this is what I've done," and all of that stuff, the process of saying like, of demonstrating that I have exhausted all ways to solve this problem myself generally leads to me solving the problem. Not always.
I wish that worked for me, at least for this problem. And I feel like I'm opening my Discord back up because I didn't turn off the right thing. So I was just like, I'm gonna quit it. Because interestingly enough, I'm just gonna pick apart something that I posted
Mhm.
um and see what y'all think. I'm gonna do it in a random VS Code file, just a file, because it's hard to see all of the colors without it.
Mhm.
Gabby, wait, no, give me all of this. Appreciate it. Gabby. Oh, we'll do markdown. Paste. Bleh. Uh, all right. So so I gave them my repo, and I'm also trying to figure out how to make this the coding version too. Like, and that's another question actually, for
Mhm.
everyone. When you're putting it in Stack Overflow or something, do you put it in Markdown?
Oh, I certainly would. Absolutely.
And why do I need to rename you?
What are you trying to do right now?
I'll show you guys the questions, but it's really hard to show you the question I asked with with the coding and colors not showing up.
Oh, so save this as a markdown file.
Okay, it is Markdown. Mhm.
Oh, you might need,
I have Prettier.
yeah.
Um,
Huh.
oh, haha. Preview
There
question.
you go.
We will have preview as well, but
The colors thing is determined by your VS Code theme.
oh, I thought Prettier would help me, but apparently not.
It's not going to do anything with colors. It's only going to do for prettier is only about formatting.
Oh, uh, uh, for Dotus, uh, on some things, but a programmer uses all weapons sources to find the solution. Yeah, I get that. We gotta do all of our homework, which why okay, y'all, bear with me. I don't know how to make this pretty at the moment, but basically in my tweety tag.index JavaScript, I ran node index.js. And if the Twitter handle that I showed you earlier it's basically asking the question I asked you at the beginning of the call when I was describing this and
Okay.
showing where I was stuck. And I think this is a good way. I'm following your instructions, but now I think I'm going to post it later on Stack Overflow just to see if I can
Sure.
have someone answer the question. But again, if
Mhm.
not, then I definitely have gone through my Discord channels, and I think I'm gonna didn't even think about it earlier, but I think this is a Prisma thing. So I can ask the Prisma community too.
Sure. I am curious when you say you run node index.js, what does that mean?
In CLI. How would you say that?
Okay.
If I
Okay.
run no.cls, run command, run
Mhm.
run CLI command.
Um,
That?
okay. Okay. So in the terminal, you're typing node
Mhm,
index.js, and then
mhm.
this is happening.
Yes. If I have
Okay.
the Twitter handle like equal to my name, it will add it to the database. If I have it equal to um, Twitter handle, it will not run.
Okay. So I am not a web dev, but it's not obvious to me that you would necessarily have node in particular run your index.js file, like execute it.
Okay, so adding in like because it's connected to the database query. That's why I do it. Okay.
What I'm wondering is if actually running that is your problem.
It's how Prisma is saying that you check the query the database.
Always?
Uh,
Or just when you're like testing it one by one? Because you're what if I'm understanding your problem correctly, you like when you're testing it one by one, it works, but when you're trying to actually run it like connected to the front end, it's not working, right?
Let me open it. And let's work through this. I'll ask.
I am spitballing 100% right now,
Anybody
but
on, hanging out with us today understand TypeScript or Prisma? Because that
TypeScript is just a subset of JavaScript.
it is. But my job, hold on, hold please, hold. Go to VS Code. I'm gonna close these really quick. Just they can save or not. I don't really care. Go away. Thank you. Open. Oh, it was right there. Tweety tag. All right. And if just to make sure that that's whatever. It's the most recent because we just looked at this. All right. So now that I have all these beautiful things open in all right. So in Prisma, they have you do your schema.prisma to be able to connect it to the database and say what you want in the database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I named it Twitter handle is the first one I'm working on. So I was like, they use the index.js file to be able to query the database. So I have Twitter handle. And if I enter Twitter handle, Jenn, just because I couldn't type earlier, it will show, and it's node. What did I say it was?
Index.js.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Index.js.
And just we can know that it should be that because that's literally you're saying execute this file. The
Yeah,
file that you want to execute is that one.
right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's superscript. Oh, it's a superscript.
Superset. Yeah, what I said was subset, and that is what I meant.
Yeah.
Superset.
So if
Yeah.
you see, if I'm entering a written Twitter handle, it is adding a Twitter handle every single time.
Okay.
So cool. That is what I want. I want Twitter handles to be added. But
Uh-huh.
if I go, and this is just in the overall file, but if I go into Next Forms app and go ahead and run this one, which is cd Next Forms app, and I do npm run dev.
Mm-hmm.
Dev, if I can type. Can I please open this? Thank you. I can enter it, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just gives me this pop up. And the
Mm-hmm.
way that this one works is if I go into this one's index.tsx file, so that is the one on the right, it's saying, hey, the Twitter handle is from the form value, and it gives you the pop up. So if I go under API and go to forms, it is here and it reads it, but I've been trying to do like, I need to pull what it's putting in here to put it into the database.
Yeah. Okay. So your form, so you had a constant, I don't see it right now, the constant that gets the handle. Maybe we need to scroll down to
The
it or up.
constant is on the index.tsx file.
Oh, okay, right. So that's the
Right there.
constant. But when okay, so wait. Do we want that to be a constant? Because then it wouldn't change, right?
What up, JD Cano
Oh,
and
hello.
Cano, JD and Cano? Hopefully that's right. And for Dotus, I will ask more about that once Laura gets like her thought out. I don't want to.
I mean, it's just sort of a wandering thought. Like, it's interesting to me that these would be like the form and the data would be declared as constants because we need to update them pretty regularly, right? But maybe that isn't going to matter. Are you using a tutorial or something to do
Yes.
this?
And oh wait, let me actually have this on my get.
Oh, I
I
just
don't know
noticed
why
the
I don't.
time. How important is it to you that we actually do some Anki on this stream today?
I will say not as important as what we're working on right now.
Okay.
But I mean, that's up to you. This is also you co-host Mondays. So
This is true. It's true.
what do you want to do?
I wonder if I don't know. I mean, I really don't have a preference, honestly.
Then if you're cool with it, I would
I
love to
am.
because
I'm
I
cool.
might actually end up continuing to stream when we're done because
Okay.
I just really want to figure this out because it's like driving me insane why
Ooh,
it's so
okay.
tough.
In that case, let's do the Anki now, and then when you continue, you can carry on with
Mm,
this.
I dig it. I dig it. All right, y'all. Then on that note, I'm gonna pause on this thing that I'm driving me bonkers
Mm-hmm.
and work on it later today, which I will stream to do. So make sure you're following my Twitch account
Mm-hmm.
and we will follow up with I do think it's really good for us to have this question as well. And I will also add in uh if it lets me share my Anki decks, I will do that too.
You
So
can. Yeah.
sweet. All right. So we're on Anki. Let me also do this one. Do you have a bird? Oh, it's the birds outside.
I have, yeah. I have a window and there's a bird beyond the window, but I do not claim ownership of the bird.
That's a really fun way of saying that. You do not claim ownership of the bird. All right. I what? I don't know why I do this to myself. I like minimize things and then I'm like, where did it go? I want it back. No, it's not that one either.
Have you met Command H, which is hide instead of minimize? Because
How do I get it?
I don't
Oh,
know if,
oh, I hid so much. I'm just like hiding everything now. This is kind of fun.
yeah. So, and then do you do Command Tab?
No, but I could.
So this is my best friend for like moving around between my open apps. And I love Command
Mm,
H because if you Command M, if you minimize, then when you Command Tab back to something, it'll stay minimized. And I'm like, I don't want you to do that. I want you out of my face, but I still want you to like be accessible from Command Tab. So if you press Tab again, you can tab through all of your open apps
yeah,
and then just open them from there. So it's a way of not having to like grab your mouse quite so
yeah.
often.
I dig it. I dig
And
it.
then Command Shift Tab goes backwards
I dig
in
it.
the list.
I dig it. Thank you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I have this, and then we're gonna do this command tab thing.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have the Enki.
Yes. All
Oh,
right. So what do you want to make be your first deck?
we just happen. No, that would be weird. Let's do some Python, just or
Okay.
GitHub or
Sure.
Git Actions, either one. I'm down for both.
Okay.
Uh,
So if you look down at the bottom, there's a create deck. Yeah.
Deck name. I almost want to do a learning with Laura deck where it's just like I associate it all with you, but that's not always going to be helpful. So I'm going to do Python
Mm-hmm.
in general. I'll do Python in general.
Sure.
And we can go back to automate the boring stuff because we were talking about Python basics and like adding in these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the bottom. Go to the bottom. Summary. There we go. All right. And then add. Add.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Type. There's a bunch.
So the let's start with basic and reversed card because that's going to be the one that is most intuitive for anyone who has ever used a physical flashcard.
Okay. Choose. And
It
the
might have been can you click basic again? Because I think it's on basic, but not and reversed card. There we go.
oh, okay. And then which of the following operators are values?
Hmm.
And would I post all of them or just the ones that are correct?
So in this case, you'd probably want to put all of those, but put them in the question box. Yeah, on the front.
Okay.
And then just choose the correct ones to go on the back.
Which of the following are operators and which are values? So on the back, do values and then or operators and then do values. So star is an operator. Below is a value.
Mhm.
Negative 8.8 is minus. Yep. Okay. Why are you out of order? Um, uh, plus 5 and bold, bold, underline, underline, and bold, underline, or not. Okay, whatever. And
I would take out the 1 just because this isn't necessarily like in future when you have lots of cards, it'll be shuffling through them a bit. And so the 1 would be like, wait, what is 1 what?
what are we doing? And then would you say the tags are Python uh, operators and values as
Up to
tags?
you. Yeah. So for me, I would probably not put Python on it necessarily just because this is already living in the Python deck. And so I'm not likely to be looking for it across decks, but like it's not going to hurt. So sure, why not?
Uh-oh. Did I do it? Did it make it?
Yeah,
Sweet. And
I
wait,
think so. Wait. Uh, Python should say, click on your Python deck in the, yeah, there we go. Oh no. Hmm.
but default. What what do you
Oh, I think that it's like a tour of thing. But why did it not show up?
Oh, it has 2 cards for it. So
Uh,
was card one.
Yes, I think you made it in the default deck instead of the Python deck.
Oh. Well. And for Dotus, you just unlocked it. Unlocked what?
So you can do
Oh, change deck.
change deck. And you know what? I think I may have been wrong when I said do basic and reversed card because I think that's why there are two cards. I think should have been just basic. Sorry, I haven't had to set up a deck from like scratch in so long. My bad. But you can change the type.
I
So
want to
if
delete
you
this one. Forget. There we go.
you can delete it as well, but I think you have to actually like open the card in order to delete it. Oh, there we go. If you go under notes, so when you right click and then go to bottom notes and then delete. There you go.
Okay. We will now start. Yay! That is my favorite emoji. Is that weird?
Oh,
I really
what
like
is
that
it?
emoji. I don't know. It's something holding a little heart,
It's
and
like,
it's really happy.
yeah, that looks really cute.
It's really happy. I love. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So
Okay,
now I go to my deck.
yeah,
Go to Python.
Python. Now add one.
Add. And
And
then
I
where?
guess we can just do the same. Yeah, go back to basic.
Oh, deck right here. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
totally what uh Kafsi? Ka I, we're going with Kafsi was saying. Okay. So now we'll minimize that. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ah! Values. Do do. Yeah, there we go. And I don't know if it shows up for y'all, but it looks like it like kept some of that yellow screen. So I'm just gonna make sure that they are. No.
I don't
Okay.
see it.
Cool. Well, hopefully not. And
Mm-hmm.
add
Add.
it.
Mm-hmm. All
And
right. So now if
then
you go back to the big Anki window, yeah. And if you click study now, you can see your card.
oh, and then show answer. And I'm gonna say that it was easy.
Mm-hmm. And that 4D that was above the easy meant 4 days. So it'll ask you again in 4 days.
Oh.
But it's not going to notify you. So what that means is that if you are using Anki in the next 3 days, it won't
Mhm,
ask you about that card. But if you don't use Anki for 2 weeks, 4 days will have passed. So it
mhm.
will ask you about that card.
Okay. Got it. All right. So, which of the following? Add basic. Okay. So this has gotten easier. I feel like
Mhm.
I can at least keep going with these.
Mhm.
Good. String.
So the question that it's asking is which of them is a variable and which is a
Oh,
string?
see, it's a good thing you read it. Dude, this is probably one of the biggest things that are really, really hard for me is I don't mean to, but I will skip through it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "No, no, no, I gotta read it. You gotta read it."
Mhm.
But my
Mhm.
brain just honestly does not do it.
Yep.
And from what I've understood, that actually is something with dyslexia because it's where we just will skip letters or skip entire words that a lot of
Mm.
people with dyslexia will just go for context. Just the way the brain works. I'm like, "Oh,
I don't think that I'm dyslexic, but I totally do that. Um, I think of it as more like to do with my ADHD, but maybe they're interrelated because brains, man.
brains. Brains are weird and they're cool."
Mhm.
Now I feel like I want to end on these. Like when we take them, I can be like, we will just answer the questions and as we're typing them.
Um,
Data types.
let's
I'll close. I'll work on this later.
I was gonna say, let's try another type of card,
Oh, okay.
which is the close deletion kind.
Close.
And I have to remember how we do this. So, you have to it's a plugin, the close deletion. So what you have to do is I would literally I am in fact Googling close deletion Anki plugin. Mm, mhm. Okay.
Close.
But we want close deletion, and we definitely are going to have to install this plugin. So um,
Nope.
yeah. So literally search for it in a browser.
I think you sent this to me already.
Um,
Oh, okay.
so we do need to get to the plugin itself. Oh, so down the third one from the bottom is close deletion. Okay, which is going to tell us how to use it, but you have to get it first. So search for Anki close deletion plugin.
Ah, I'm clicking too many buttons, y'all. Uh, add-on,
Or
right?
add-on. Maybe it's called an add-on. Okay. Yeah, let me
And
make sure that I know which one I have so that I'm telling you the same thing that I use. It's under tools, add-ons. Yeah. Okay. So go for that. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So if you oh, if you go back one, I think you were on scroll up. Yeah. Okay. So scroll down again, and what we're looking for is a number. Maybe it's all the way at the bottom. Because there will be a number that you use. Oh, wait. Go back down a bit. Down. Keep going. Oh, this is from 2019. It may be too old. Okay. Then let's look at there's a YouTube video. There's a YouTuber like Anking, I think is his YouTube channel. And this is literally how I learn to do and relearn because sometimes I forget my memory how to use my memory tool. Um, okay. Yeah. So a lot of Anki users are medical students, but that's
Oh,
okay because the tool works the same. And so if you search this channel for close deletion, okay,
that
yeah.
and Frank is saying there are multiple close add-ons on the Anki 2.1 add-on page.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Oh,
ads, always
yeah.
the
I was
ads.
all like, this isn't what I saw before. Oh, no, it's literally not.
Uh,
Single card. If you're like me and use closed deletions but use the C1 most of the time, this is for you. So closed deletion single card, I really like, although I have some friends that don't like it very much. And I've made an example card. As you can see, I tried to make a really good one with bolds, underlining, italics. But it with this particular card, it makes sense to have the potassium and the sodium both be a part of one card because they're kind of one idea. Now, normally, if we're creating a card, I'm just going to go A, close deletion B, close deletion C, close deletion D. Now you can see mine goes 1, 1, 1. Anki's default settings would do this, and if I added another close deletion, it would be C4. But with mine, you can see no matter how many I add, it's always C1, which I think is really nice because they're all together, and I tend to use the C1s more often than not. So if you're tending to do C1, C2, C3 more than you're using the card that has multiple closed deletions that are all C1, this add-on
This is maybe not the video. It's this channel, but it's not this video that I used. Because this is sort of more advanced. This is like once you're already in there. Is there a
I can do search. I think this is showing all of that, but well, we can look into it because I know that you're at time. I don't know where the last hour and a half went. Like I feel like we just had so much fun.
Yep. Hooray.
And that tends to happen when you're on the stream. But we do have more people here, and y'all kind of heard and saw like wow, wrong button. Like how Laura and I just do this thing where it's like just come hang out with us. We're gonna work on some random shit, and that's we went over a little Anki. We wanted to figure out how to ask questions. We did go on a pretty good tangent about Twitter, and that is honestly what Mondays are going to be. Yes, they'll all be based around Python, yet it's not necessarily going to be just Python. So if you want to come up with some ideas for what we should call this mini series or series within a series, it's I don't know what it is, but Laura's here every Monday. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
We start the week with Laura.
I just found the plugin that I was thinking of. So I'm going to send you the link.
Nice.
And the reason that we weren't finding it is because it does not have closed deletion in the title. That's what it is, but it's not. There we go.
Yay. And they're so far they're saying learning with Laura.
I think it sounds good.
But yeah, yes. That's what I put today's as is I'm like, it's always learning with Laura. I just don't know what it's going to be about because we are always learning.
So this one that I just sent you, if you pull it up,
download this add-on.
yeah. Do you want to share the screen?
Oh, hey, I thought I was still. I clicked the buttons, y'all, but you
Yep.
couldn't. You just couldn't see me.
So this one is the reason that this one is so cool is because it lets you put in more than one line. And if you're doing code, very often you want to be able to enter more than one line of code. And so that's why we weren't finding it, because it's not closed. It is a closed deletion thing, but it's not called closed deletion. There it is.
Oh,
That's not what the plugin is, or the add-on is called. It's called multi-line type answer box.
I'm seeing if I can log in so I can get that part of it to get download it all.
And I can show you what that looks like on my end. Is it okay if we go over by a minute or two?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, go share your screen so I can set up my account.
Sure thing.
Please.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
So, present. Share screen. Looking for the inky. There we go. Okay.
And
so here's my deck on Vim. And so if I say study now, so this is go back to where you came from in a search. So for this particular deck, I don't necessarily need the type answer box to contain more than one line, but it's like there's no reason. I always use the multi-line type answer card type for this, for closed deletions, because then I have the option of using more than one line, whereas with
okay.
a regular closed deletion, then I don't. And so I can go back to where I came from in a search. If I type, I literally don't remember. But it might be Control I. So Control I. Oops. Oh, it's Control O. Okay, so it doesn't like that I didn't capitalize the C in control. I don't care about whether I capitalize that because I'm not actually going to type CTRL. I'm going to press the control key. However, I do care that it was I instead of, that it's supposed to be O instead of I. So I'm going to say that I got this one wrong. But yeah, anyway, so then I'm just going to finish this one for now. I can show you another one where we have, so this is a tech that I made. So I am on a developer relations team. My job title is technical writer, but I am slightly also doing some advocacy. And so I made this deck. Oh, I don't want that one. I want the WASM one. So this is our my WebAssembly deck. So I made this deck to help me understand, or well, first of all, to help me be able to deliver an elevator pitch for what is WebAssembly good for? What is WebAssembly? What is it good for? And all of that kind of stuff. And so this this card, so it asks me, so what is the original use case for WASM? It was running compiled languages like C++ in the web browser. But since then, it has evolved to include non-browser environments like something and IoT. And so like server-side environments, say. And so there we go. And that's so I can stick that in there. So I know, so this is a classic closed deletion case where I can have everything there, but the little piece that I want to have myself fill in this case, the server. So I got that. So I'll say that was good. And then, oops, this card is wrong. So I'm going to have to fix that. I'll just say again, and then we'll keep going and I'll fix that later. So in my background here, so I've got all of this context, but the part that I want to be able to state right here is, so you can compile apparently all these different languages. So what kinds of languages can you compile to WebAssembly? You can compile TypeScript and Go and Rust and JavaScript. So let's see how I did on those. Yep. Okay, so I said two that were not on the list, but it is the case that those are also available to compile to WebAssembly. So that lets me know that I knew this thing, so I can say that that one was good as well. So what does it look like to actually create one of these cards? Oops, I just closed the window. I'm gonna have to open it again.
And then Frank just sent for chat multi-line type answer box or add-on. Thank you, Frank. I'm getting it on my computer as we talk, getting it updated for here, so that way I can, by the time you're done showing us, I have it working.
Yep. So say I wanted to create a new card here. So I can add, and for this card type, I'm actually using this other add-on called Kotek and Markdown Close. I'm just going to choose that, and then I can type in a bunch of text. So this is, oops. I'm typing on my keyboard in a different position than I usually do.
Y'all, it helps if I add her back to the stream, right? Yeah, there we go.
Okay. And so then in order to occlude, to like hide the word bunch, or like say I wanted to say this is a bunch of, what is it a bunch of? It's a bunch of text. I can say C1 is text, and then add, and then if we look at that card, which I'm going to have to find in my deck because otherwise it's going to show me a bunch of other stuff. I can search this deck for text.
I'm just seeing the main deck. I'm not seeing anything else.
Because I shared the one window. But that's okay. I can. Here we go. Let me reshare. Oops, I have code showing that needs to not be on stream, so just a sec. Tidy
No
up my
worries.
workspace here.
I will say, like I need to actually like read this closer because I'm like, I don't know how to get it actually working with, go to tools menu, add-ons. So if you read, it tells you how to do it as a heads up.
Okay. So, and I've got one more here, and I will hide us so that we're not doing Inception. Okay. So we have cleaned these up too. There we go. So the way I found this, let's reverse engineer this. The card that I just made, if I click study now, it's just going to show me like card by card. But if I want to see the card that I just made, I can go to browse. The deck that I made this card in is my WASM deck. And then I can search my WASM deck for the word text, or I can search for like the phrase, this is a bunch, because that's what I had going. There we go. This is a bunch of, and then we can see how it's got like the two curly braces and then C1 and colon text. And like, what does that even look like when it's being used as a card? I can click preview. And so then it says, this is a bunch of what? It's a bunch of text.
I feel like, okay, y'all, because we did totally go over all of this stuff. Next week, what if we literally only focus on Anki and work on what we want to do, and come up with questions, because I feel like that is also, you asked me, you're like, well, what do you want to build them for? And I'm like, I don't know, what should I be studying? And because that kind of stuff doesn't show up for me, like on repetitive stuff like GitHub and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, how do I open something? And I'm like, um, so that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, I feel like I can work on coming up like with ideas of what to make. Does this make sense? I feel like I'm going around trying to
I'm
describe
not
what I'm thinking.
sure. I am going to push very gently back on the plan to talk only about Enki, because I feel like it will doing something like in the context where you would normally use it. And so normally if you were using an Anki deck to learn something, you'd be embedded in like the thing that you're learning. And then when you came across something that was new, you would add it as a card to your Anki deck.
Oh, okay, okay. So I can get the app installed because I almost have it totally installed. So
Mhm,
when we go back to probably Python next week,
mhm.
we can add it from there. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, and we can review like if you have the spoons to add some more cards before then, like we can review from the cards that you already have
Cool, 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 cool.
before then, and then be making new ones.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it. I dig it. Thank you.
you're
That is a
welcome.
good idea. And yes, everyone. So Laura will be back on Monday. I will be streaming later today, working through this project because this project is driving me bonkers. I don't know when, but I will be back later today.
Mhm.
And yes, tomorrow, I don't think I have a guest tomorrow, actually. I should probably go look. I'll be streaming something tomorrow. I just don't know what yet.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have a guest tomorrow. That's crazy. All right. So hit y'all up later. We are going to raid into Anthony's channel because
Mhm.
Anthony is dope as shit and who I like to call my internet big brother. Um, so I'm gonna send you guys over there. And if there's anything else, hit us up on Twitter. Those are our names on Twitter. We talk enough about Twitter today. And we will
Mhm.
be back next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
In however many seconds this is going to take to rate, just awkwardly
Mhm.
stare at y'all. I